I would say if you're a young actor today and you're not, you've got breaks in it, say yes to anything. Say yes to anything just for the riyaz. I don't even know if there is a word because practice is not riyaz. Rehearsal is not riyaz. Riyaz is very specific. I'm so comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
Have always been. Maybe this is to do with my parenting, my parents' parenting, not my parenting. I've always believed that good things will happen to me. That is, in fact, faded over the years, and I've had to rekindle it. And this is something that has always happened to me. When you write, when you start something, then the story dictates the medium.
In your opinion, do humans need other humans in order to survive?
Not all. Not all humans need other humans to survive. I do. I need friendships. When I started writing, it just became a book. I didn't set out to write the book. I set out to write a TV show, a series. When I started writing it, I had to be in the head of these characters. And television, you have to do, or for any kind of screen, you depend on the actor to deliver what you're trying, the nuances and the subtleties that you want to express. When you write a novel, you have the luxury of just going completely in depth into someone's thinking, into someone's mind, and I needed to do that.
Yeah.
Paris is like any other, is unlike any other city. It really is it's a hard city to crack.
Thank you, Koel Purie for having us in your beautiful home in Vasant Vihar.
I really wish that this was my home. It isn't.
Your
It
parents'
is the
home.
home I grew up in.
Yes.
But I no longer live here.
You no longer live here.
I no longer.
You live in Paris now.
I live, in fact, I no longer live in Paris either. I've just moved out of Paris into a little village between Paris and Versailles.
Called?
And it's called Vaucresson.
Vaucresson.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a different lifestyle. So no, I don't live here. In fact, I'm looking at this library of my dad and he's thinking that I should steal some things from this.
Will you notice?
I bet he will.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. So if you take one book that he doesn't even probably has read a million years ago, doesn't think about, but like I know, and like, that generation of men and women, their retention power and their ability, the way that their brain works, your and my brain will never work like that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, sorry, that was a total
it's
interruption to your
It's
introduction.
great. It's great. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And let's start at the beginning.
Okay, let's start at the beginning.
Where were you born?
I was born in Delhi, not in this house, but in another house. Is it Hoska Ananiketan, I think. I was born in Delhi. Yeah.
Siblings?
Older sister and a younger brother. I'm a middle child, and I have all the traits of a middle child.
All the traits of what are the traits?
I think the biggest one is attention seeking.
I'm an only child.
You wouldn't know, right? I have an only child. I think having siblings is wonderful, is really wonderful till it's not.
Right.
But I'm a typical middle child. I want all eyes on me. I do all kinds of things just to be like, I exist too. Notice me.
True. It's easy to forget that the youngest one is taken care of, and yeah.
Once my grandmother said to me, she says, कुछ नहीं होता छोटी, कली को तो सब प्यार करते हैं, वो तो बड़ी है, अंकुर तो लड़का है.
You're older and younger.
Yeah, younger
Ankur
and Kali. Lekin, until this point, I hadn't thought I was unloved, right?
Right.
But doesn't matter. I love you. It's like, this is very distressing that I am not loved. I was not aware of this at all.
Yeah, by your mother.
Till you brought it up. Thank you for ruining the rest of my life.
What age? Do you remember?
I think it was very young.
Very young.
Very young. So, I mean, before 10, you know? No.
And your mother, father, the professions?
My mother and father, my mother is an educator. She runs schools. And my father is a journalist.
Wonderful. Yeah. And were you closer to one parent growing up?
My mother, I think.
Yes.
As is a typical setup in I wouldn't say Indian family, I would just say in that era
Right.
where it was that you were closer to the mother was more the caregiver than the father was. But in our setup, like we still had very close and open relationships. I remember at some point my relationship with my father changed because my friends thought he was cool, and
Oh, I see.
that becomes that. I remember this so clearly, sitting in this house somewhere having chai with him, and there were some friends who dropped in and stuff because I lived close to school, so the house was always the adda. And some friends had dropped in, and he was retelling this story about how he'd cut his hand with a scissor in some hotel in Singapore, and there was blood everywhere and something. And I always thought he was like whatever, like we told stories to each other, but it was the way that my friends were reacting to him that I saw him in a different light. I was like, oh my God, he's really funny. And this must have been like, I must have been 13 or 14 or something by this point. And at that point, of course, your friends are the be all end all of your existence,
Yeah,
right?
true.
Everything they believe and think is the basic truth, is the universal truth, right? So if they thought he was funny, I thought he was funny. And
Yes.
I remember a shift happening that and realizing that not everyone had this kind of openness with their parents that I was lucky enough to share.
I
Took
did.
for granted.
True. Which school did you attend? And
I
what
went to modern school.
modern school?
Vasant Vihar.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And what were you like during those adolescent years? Did you already have a yearning to write? Did you gravitate towards any subject?
There was I mean, we'll come to me as an academic student in a second, but the writing thing, yes, because it was an age when we wrote letters to each other, right? Not just to boyfriends, but to friends, even though we saw each other every day. And I have now discovered, because you wrote letters, you first wrote them out rough, and then you wrote it out in a pretty writing paper and you sent it to each other and things like that. I have discovered, my mother was like, you need to take all your stuff from your childhood away from this house. We can't keep collecting all this. So I opened, which reminds me, I must go and look at it. You take this stuff, and I discovered diaries and diaries and diaries of letters.
Yeah.
Of my letters written to
How
X, Y,
wonderful.
and Z, and some letters written to me. Just like what. So yes, I think I was always inclined to writing.
We were forced to write letters. Not forced, but we were
I
encouraged
loved writing
Yeah.
letters. I loved writing
to our parents.
letters. Yeah.
Yeah. And
You
how
went to boarding school.
I went to boarding school.
Yeah.
So I was away from my parents,
Yeah.
and every Sunday we sat down, and we were encouraged to write letters to our parents.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
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 So
In
I
very
was
bad
writing
handwriting.
letters to the person that I was seeing every day as my bestie, right?
Okay.
Which is like how it was.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And how did you determine your self-worth, Koel? Resilience against criticism, and that you were inherently valuable?
So it's a question that comes up a lot when you're a parent. That how do you make your child resilient? How do
Yeah.
you give them self-worth? And it's only now in this later part of my life that I am saying, how do I give myself self-worth, right? And this is a question that has never plagued me. And this is some of the lucky few. I didn't realize that this was not just the norm, where it kind of sounds arrogant. I don't mean it in that way, but I'm born confident. I'm so comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
Have always been. Maybe this is to do with my parenting, my parents' parenting, not my parenting. Maybe it's to do with the, chemical makeup
Yeah.
of how we are made up. But I have always been my favorite person, that to borrow from the line of Karishma Kapoor in that film.
Mm-hmm.
That is never, I've always believed that good things will happen to me. That is in fact faded over the years, and I've had to rekindle it.
Really?
But I've always believed that I am born for glory.
It's not
From
confidence.
age
It's
zero.
yeah.
This has been part of my physical and mental makeup. And it's as you go through the world, it erodes it, especially
It
being
does.
an actor, right?
does.
And especially being an actor, the kind of actor that I was, which was like niche. And,
Mm-hmm.
there weren't that many those kind of films. We didn't live in the world of OTT
Correct.
and not off Bollywood films. And so it was, I took a lot of knocks, and those knocks eroded some of that, right? On a regular basis, I was told, your nose is too big, or you look like this, or you look like, that's just the world we were living in those days, right? So it does erode your confidence. It does erode your self-worth. It does make you that what you've set out to, what you believe is yours for the taking from age, God knows what, suddenly you question it, that is it mine for the taking, and it knocks you. And so I think for me, it worked in reverse. Like I had to, it eroded, and it's now in my later years being a parent that I am refining it, and I'm giving it back to me mindfully.
That's very interesting.
But I see it around with other people. I see it in my own child. Not everyone's born with it.
No.
So I just have to say that I was lucky.
Yeah.
It was one of my traits.
Then you just had to find it back.
I'm finding it
You're
back.
finding it back.
I'm finding
Yeah,
it.
of course. It's difficult. It's not easy.
No.
No, I know. And growing up, that drive to pursue a career, which is at times riddled with anxiety, comes from where? I mean, did you want to make your parents proud?
I suppose, like deep down, there must be a motivation, right? All of us grew up with that.
Yeah.
But I come from a family of super achievers, right? My sister was always like first in class and things, and coming back to my academic career in school, till grade 8, I was failing, like literally failing. I would put spit on my report cards, because we didn't have digital report cards, and change the E to a B and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Like I was like quite a child. Like my parents had their hands full. And then something clicked in me around the time I was in, maybe it was the teachers, because also so much of it is dependent on the quality of the education, where I wanted to succeed. I started ranking in the top 10 or whatever, and that became a motivation of like, oh, I can do this. I'm not a duffer.
No.
Because you get labeled, especially in India, so easily in those days.
Really?
Of like, oh, your sister is such a bright one. What happened to you?
Oh, God.
But later in life, it took me a long time to accept for myself, nothing to do with my parents, but to accept for myself that it is acting that is what I want to do. Because it was not considered a noble profession. It was not considered a profession for intellectuals. It was not considered a profession for worth having, in my own eyes. So it took a long time for me to want to come to that, but there's one thing I feel, and I'm not sure that this is true across the board, but it was true for me. The conversation about career independence, financial independence, was never had. It was not inculcated in us. It was kind of just expected that, you will have this. But somewhere I missed that little piece.
I see.
Of one blames everything on our childhood and our upbringing. So sometimes perhaps I think that my lack of ability to be able to be really ambitious and, clear-cut about what are my money goals or, career goals comes from the lack of these conversations happening when I was a kid. I suppose it was just expected that you have all the opportunities in the world. We're giving you the good education. We're modeling behavior. So therefore, and all those things are 100% true. That is what happened. But no one ever sat me down or any of us down saying, what is it you really want to do with your life?
Right.
It's something that I would want to, it's something I want to do with my daughter.
Of course.
To be able to say, what is it you want to do with your life? How can we facilitate it? How can we shape it? How can we work together to get you what you want?
Book, Clearly Invisible in Paris, 2023. Yeah. I was at its launch at the Quorum Club in Delhi.
Yes.
Right? It takes place in Paris.
Yes.
Could you explain a little bit about the inspiration behind the narrative, the thematic structure you took, and why Paris?
So, Paris, why Paris? Because I was living there, right? And why writing? Because suddenly I was thrown into a country where I didn't speak the language at all, and I really wanted to work. My daughter was older and stuff. I could not work as an actor or even as a presenter. So what was I going to do? So I turned to writing. It was the easiest thing within my control to do.
I see.
Why this structure? Because I wanted to write for television. And I was constantly meeting absolutely brilliant women from all over the world, from all walks of life, who weren't finding their groove and their place in Paris. Very much like myself, right? I'm not saying that I am the brilliant person, but I was not finding where do I fit? What do I do?
Yeah.
Paris is like any other, is unlike any other city. It really is it's a hard city to crack.
For an outsider.
For an outsider. Even if you speak the language and stuff, right? You will always be an outsider because to be a Parisian is so specific and so whatever.
Yes, no, I get it.
And so I was coming across all these wonderful women, right? And just, I love women. I love girlfriends. I love the power that women give to each other. And I was coming across these women from all walks of life who were really not getting their due, but they were working the system and hustling and, doing whatever it takes. And they had this, and that's where the idea started to form. And initially it was called Panic in the City. And it was about 4 women, because 4 is always a nice structure, to have. It was about 4 women who came from different walks of life in Paris, and it was going to be a TV series. But when I started writing this, and this is something that has always happened to me, when you start something, then the story dictates the medium. And when I started writing it, I had to be in the head of these characters. And television, you have to do, or any kind of screen, you depend on the actor to deliver what you're trying, the nuances and the subtleties that you want to express. But when you write a novel, you have the luxury of just going completely in depth into someone's thinking, into someone's mind.
Psyche,
and I
yes.
needed to do that. And so when I started writing, it just became a book. I didn't set out to write the book. I set out to write a TV show, a series.
Do humans, in your opinion,
Yeah.
humans need other humans in order to survive?
Not all. Not all humans need other humans to survive. I do.
You do.
I do. I need friendships.
Yes. You were saying your
Yeah.
women-centric friendships.
Women-centric
men.
friendships. Yeah, I need friendships to survive. They make my world richer. They make me want to live. But no, not all people need.
Yeah.
I've seen people who
You
do
do.
quite well
Yeah.
in isolation.
In isolation.
In fact, writing the book Clearly Invisible was a way of me expressing what that city was taking away from me, and I was refusing to let it. I wanted to see the beauty in it, and I did. I really think it's one of the most magnificent cities.
And I'm sure the book was gestating within you for a long time. So how did you approach the almost impossible task of getting words on a blank screen? Do you remember how it all started, book-wise?
So it's very interesting you ask this, because I'm in the middle of, I'd like to say middle, in the beginning of my second novel.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And this novel, everything that I have written, I've written for TV before, I've written for myself, articles, book, whatever. Everything I've written, it's always just been a question of time for me. Like the minute I open that screen, or I have my notebook, I write longhand sometimes. The minute I open that screen, it flows out of me. It doesn't mean that it's going to be good, doesn't mean that it's going to be kept. A lot of it may just go, out of the window. But I write fast, and I write at a volume that is like this, right? Very confident in my writing. I'll come to this, right? So that's never been an issue of like, the fear of the blank screen. In fact, all I want is the time, mental, physical, actual time to sit in front of the computer, and it'll come. I never fear it. I just want to sit there. Cut to now, where I'm like, my life coach says, you keep saying you're a writer, where's your second book? And I'm like, Where's my second book? Okay, I have to write my second book.
Yeah.
Open your computer, Koel, and it'll come, right? And I have 100 ideas of what I want my second book to be about, right? And it's the first time in my entire life I'm like, that blank
What happened?
space, what do I want to say? And so I stared out of the window in this lovely village house that I have and whatever for months on end.
You really?
Literally, I made it because this is, you can only break through this by doing, right? I know this you know this even for actors and for anything, right? It's in the doing that you will find the way. But when you don't know what, like if you don't know what to write, what do you do? So I would go every morning, my coffee, my whatever, do all the procrastination I have to do, look at the Instagram, look at whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I would sit on that desk. I would stare out of the window and I would go tuck and then write one sentence and then go, okay, maybe it's about this, maybe it's about tuck, 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 till finally, now I'm at a place where I can say, I'm writing my second novel, right? It took
time.
It took that, for the first time in my entire life, I never understood when writers say half of it is like, you're just looking out of the world or you're cleaning your drawer. I never understood that. Because for me, it's like always there's burning stories inside me that I have to tell. But my book, the physical space I wrote was actually, because I didn't have an office. I'm an actor. What do I have an office, right? So I wrote on my dining table in my Parisian apartment, which I no longer live in, which I was absolutely obsessed with.
Where was it? Where was it?
It was in Trocadero.
Oh, wow. View.
No view. It was high up, like it was on the 5th floor, but it was the first place that me and Laurent, after many years of marriage, owned, because we lived the expat life of like just being wherever and things, and that we owned and that I had done with so much care and love and like, oh my God, how I cried when I left that apartment.
Sure.
I loved this apartment, the light, and just being in the city in Paris, and you understood why it's continues to be the epicenter for artists and creators of all kind, because it's the way that city speaks to you, the way the light is, the way the cafes are, the way the bustle is. It's totally different from London and New York or even Tokyo, where I lived before. Yes. So for me, yes, the physical space of that book was very much my dining table in Paris when everyone left the house. But then we had COVID and work from home, and I was just like, I can hear you breathing in the other room. And
right, your headspace, yeah.
I couldn't bear it. Like just when you're, spent an hour doing nothing, just in your own head, thinking how it is, and you're working, and you're just in your own head, and then someone goes into the kitchen, you can hear the coffee machine going, and you're ready to kill them, right?
Right.
So yeah, I need silence.
Yeah.
That's what I
need silence.
I need silence. It doesn't matter where.
You attended RADA, the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in London. Which years?
Which year? When did I go? 2002 I graduated.
2002 you got in?
Graduated.
Graduated, okay. But was the idea of studying in London at that time a realistic possibility for you? Your parents must have been 100% behind you with the idea of you.
It's an interesting story because I'd already graduated from university in UK.
Yeah. Which one?
York. Because I missed my offer I didn't make my offer for Oxford. So it was like my last choice to go to Yorkshire. Thank God I went to York.
University of York is a good university.
It was like my considered, what is this
your backup.
Nonsense? Yeah. And I was studying PPE, all because I was not willing to accept that all I want to do is act. So I wanted to become a broadcast journalist at that point and stuff. And so I studied, I came back and I worked, my first job that I got was with the Alva brothers, who were one of the few people who were doing television in India, non-fiction. And they were doing shows for Doordarshan, and Star had just launched Star. Was it Star? Star Plus.
Star Plus?
Or just Star. I think it was called just Star TV then. Just launched, and we did they were doing a travel show then called The Great Escape. In fact, they launched it the year that I joined, when I joined and stuff. And they said, oh, let's try you on camera. Maybe you can, I said, I can write and produce and whatever as an intern. Let's try you. You look fine. Your English seems fine. Like, look at the criteria. Your English seems fine. You look fine. Let's try you on camera if you work. Now, I've been doing theatre for, since I was born. So I was fine on camera, and I went and did a couple of episodes with them for about, actually not a couple of episodes, many episodes, for about a year or so. And realized actually the bit that I like the most is being in front of the camera. Let's start like admitting it. And then something happened and I quit that job. And I got an opportunity to, I got a, it was so bizarre. Now I'm thinking, you're making me think about all these things now. It was a woman's, no, it's amazing that I got a woman's time slot in the afternoon on Doordarshan Metro, right? So it was a time slot for half an hour. So that we have a blank space from 2 to 2:30. We need this to be a woman's show. We don't care what. And I pitched an idea to them. Think about it, I was over 21 years old. I pitched an idea to them and they liked it, or maybe they had no other ideas or whatever. I had a small budget and we shot it in my dad's news studio because we didn't even have money for a proper studio. Wow. So we shot it in that. And the thing about news studios as opposed to actual fiction studios is that the news studios are low. You can't, like, you would never be cast in my show because no one can walk.
Really?
Because the lights are not anymore back in the day.
Then, yeah.
Back in the day. So we'd set up a set and whatever to do this. And I was the only person who could walk in and out of the place fine. But everyone else had to walk in going, oh, I'm just fixing, oh, moch aa gayi. Something like this onto set. Or, I'm fixing my belt or whatever. And I did this for many years. And I had burnout because it was a daily...
This is after RADA.
This is before RADA.
Before RADA.
Before RADA. And so I had burnout. I was just like, I was acting, writing, producing this thing. It was amazing. I mean, what opportunity to be on national television back then, young age, doing what I love. But it was like after 350 episodes, it was just...
350?
Yeah, like it was ridiculous. Like, it's a daily show. So it's 5 episodes a week, Monday to Friday. So you're just like churning it. And you don't have time to think or reflect. This is what I mean. There's no time in television, right? You just go. You go with it. So some episodes are really embarrassingly bad.
Yeah.
Like really bad. Whatever. It was a very popular show at the time. And I couldn't do it anymore. I just was burnt out. And you can't be burnt out back in the 90s, right?
No?
Like, it's not considered, like, a 22, 21-year-old, what is this nonsense? What are you even talking about? Sleep a little bit. Like, shut up. Yeah, just shut up. Go to work, right? Like, what nonsense?
Was it serious, this, the exhaustion?
Mentally, yes.
Mentally, yeah.
And mentally, it was very, very serious. But also, it was transformative because it made me realize I really want to act. And this can be a profession. And so I said, what can I do? So I said, I want to be an actor. I want to go to Bombay. I want to do this. And my dad, who's a big believer in education, freedom for whatever you want to do, but in education, he said, if you want to act, then you got to train. So I was like, okay, I'm going to apply to all the best schools in the world, which is RADA, Lambda, Central, in all these places. And my dad's like, fine, if you get in, I will pay for it. Assuming there is not a chance in hell that I will get in. Because some 30,000 kids apply and 30 get in.
This is for RADA, 30,000 kids?
Yeah.
Only 30 odd?
28 to 30.
28 per year get into class.
Yeah. This is for the 3-year flagship program.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's competitive, right?
It's very competitive.
It's very competitive. And you have to do...
you have to do an
Shakespeare monologue.
Shakespeare and modern.
And a modern and sing.
No.
Yeah.
So you did all 3? Do you remember the Shakespeare monologue?
Yes, I remember it very well. It was Winter's Tale, Lady Anne. And I had never done Shakespeare in my life because I'm a CBSE kid, right? So I had never, at least in ICSE and whatever, you do some Shakespeare. I'd never done Shakespeare. And so I was like, what do I do? Who's a Shakespeare actor? But look, I love who I was back then because it's the audacity of youth, right? It's like, who is a known Shakespeare actor in India? Who is it? Nasiruddin Shah.
Oh, God, yeah.
I don't know him. Delhi kid. I had my friend at that point, Rahul Bose, who knew him. I said, we went to see a play of his. He was in Kamani. I went backstage. Rahul introduced me to Nasir. And I said, Nasir, sir, I'm applying to RADA. Oh, RADA. Okay. Yeah. I was like, I'm applying to RADA.
Sorry.
I'd really like some help with my monologue. He goes, sure. Come to Bombay. Let me know when you're coming and I will help you.
Just like that.
He just said it like, what's he going to say? I'm meeting him after show. I showed up, right? I showed up fully prepared with my Shakespeare, set down now, honorable load, and blah, 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 like this. And I was like, I went to his Bandra office. It was his office. He told me to come 10 o'clock in the morning. I went to his Bandra office and there was already a queue of people around. Just groupies, I think, or wannabe actors. I don't know. There was just like a whole array of different people there, right? And I went there. He said, come at 10 o'clock, and I'm fully prepared. And in my mind, I'm thinking, if I can do it in front of him, I can do it in front of anybody because he's the only one I care about. What do I care about the dean of RADA and the people I've never met? And like, who cares about them, right? Nasiruddin Shah is someone of some worth, of importance to me. So I kept saying, like this, okay, you can do this. And he was like, acha, okay, Koel. And of course, he was sitting there rolling with one hand, okay, at 10 o'clock in the morning. And there was a whole lot of people. And there was this chatai, and he's sitting in a beautiful bookshelf like this, also library like this. And he sat there with all, acha, show us, Koel. What are you going to do? Perform. So I got up and I performed.
Nervous?
You're kidding? Like heart inside my mouth, okay, popping out of my eyes and stuff. I perform. Sorry. He stops me. Like he hears me out, then he stops me. He goes, I don't understand a word you said.
Oh, wow.
It's like, okay. And he's like, where's your breath? Where are you breathing from? Can you just speak it? Stop acting. Sit down. Sit down in front of me. He made me sit in front of him like this. There are lots, everyone's watching, huh? And all these like Nasir sir is saying something, okay, and I'm going boom, 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 boom like this. He made me sit in front of him like this, okay, read it. He pulls out his complete works of Shakespeare, flips, okay, where's the, okay, where is it? Okay, read. Now, stop. Where's your breath? Read again, read again, read again, read again. And he just makes me speak it till eventually I knew what I was saying. I knew where to breathe. I knew how to say it, how it made sense. And I think that's why I got through, because of Nasiruddin Shah's
It's an incredible story, by the way. So cool.
So cool,
So
right?
cool. And the modern?
The modern was what? The modern was Anaita Oberoi. You know Anaita Oberoi? She's an amazing actress in Bombay. Does a lot of theatre, and she and Rahul Bose were doing a show together that I loved. There was like a series of monologues and I loved one of them. I've forgotten what it was now, but she had done it. So I just went like, okay, I'm going to do that.
So it's something out of the norm. Yeah. They like that.
They like that. But it was I think it was my singing that got me through, because I'm tone deaf, absolutely tone deaf.
Then?
And so I sang Happy Birthday.
I sang Happy Birthday for an audition once.
Yeah.
Very badly, because I'm tone deaf as well.
So tone deaf.
So you prepared Happy Birthday?
No, I didn't. I wish I had. I'm never going to tell you what I prepared, ever. It was awful. It was absolutely cringeworthy.
But still
got it. Here I am.
But still, the news of acceptance. So you must have been over the moon when you got that letter.
Yes. I have no memory of where I got it and where I was and what it was. But yes, I was over the moon. I was over the moon, yeah.
And going to London, you coped well? Was there a culture clash? You were alone?
One of the biggest culture shocks was the pub culture. Because I had never, as a 17-year-old, ordered a drink for myself. I'd drunk, but our idea of drinking was beer mixed with Coca-Cola, mixed with Fanta, mixed with anything, or like rum and Coke or whatever, or going to the border, and picking up drinks and things. I'd never actually gone up to a bar and said,
I want a cider.
Yeah, but I didn't even know what to say.
What did you say?
So I didn't know that glass of beer. No, you don't. You say I want a pint or a half pint of lager,
You said
right?
glass of beer is
Which
fine.
I got. No, but glasses. That was a. I remember this distinctly. The feeling of. I was like, I want to drink, but don't know how to order. How am I going to ask? What is it? Is it?
That was the-
this-
that was-
that was a moment.
That was
That was a
point.
culture shock.
Yeah. And your father, who's the founder of the India Today group,
Yes.
Padma Bhushan recipient, studied at LSE,
I
correct?
studied at LSE.
So, were you familiar with London through him also? Or
We're
all the
familiar with London through travel.
travel?
But I did, like I said, I went to York. So, I went to the University of York after Cambridge. And London, there were a lot of friends who were in London at that time going to London universities and colleges and things. So London was always a treat because I don't know if you know anything about York. York is a wonderfully beautiful, boring as a city, right? Like as a student, it's like death. There is nothing to do there, right?
Right.
It's so fun. Like we had so much fun because you invent things then to do and whatever have you. That London was not London. I only discovered really well and became my city, and I really call it my city still. Was when I was at RADA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
RADA is on Cheney Street.
is on Cheney Street.
Cheney Street. Halls of residence?
No, there's no halls of residence for
No.
RADA. So you have to live on your own.
You're living on your own.
I was living on my own, just not far from there, on Good Street and stuff.
Yes.
But I was already living on my own in University of
At
York.
York, yeah.
And then before that, like I was in Bombay for a few months and things. So I think I've been living alone was never an issue. Like
Yeah.
from 17, I've been living alone.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Good. So you came back
Yeah.
and you had met Rehan Engineer
Yeah.
at RADA, correct? And he was the lead in Everyone Says I'm Fine in 2001.
Do you know how he was
No.
the lead in
Tell me. Tell us.
So, Rahul Bose, who I was dating at that time, was writing this film, Everybody Says I'm Fine, and he had modeled the main character on me, just in terms of personality. He had his own story, but just in terms of personality and stuff, which was very flattering and lovely. But you're like, this is never going to make, everyone's always making a film. It's never actually going to happen. But then suddenly it was happening. He had money for it and all this kind of thing. And we were looking for this main character who was so beautifully written, Zen. And I was so in love with this film. I'd seen it from its, various drafts and stuff and things. And we were like, he was already auditioning a lot of people in Bombay. And then when I went to RADA, Rahul said, oh, I know someone in RADA. Go meet him. Rehan Engineer is a really good actor. Go meet him. So I went and met Rehan when I was auditioning. And I sat across Rehan and I was just like, I've never felt so much love for someone. And it continues till date, right? I just fell madly, deeply in love. I'd never met someone, and the name of that character in the film is Zen, right? I'd never met someone with such Zen energy. Like there was something about him that just made, because I'm all over the place, as you can see, like this, that just made me slow down.
Mm.
I felt so deeply in love with him, and it's like, unfortunately, he's gay. Or fortunately, he's gay, because then that didn't go anywhere and we have such a lasting, amazing relationship still, right? Or because of it. I told Rahul, I found your Zen. And he was like, who? I was like, Rehan. He goes, really? I was like, yes, Rehan, you've got to see him. And then Rehan went home for the holidays and Rahul must have auditioned him or something and saying, you're absolutely right, he is my Zen. And so I found him.
Wow, that's a great story.
I love it.
It's a great story.
It's a great story.
Great story. How nice to have a co-star like that, no? No? It's really wonderful.
Yeah, it was a wonderful time.
Yeah. And the Indian film industry, you moved to Bombay?
I lived between Bombay and London in those years because I had quite a lot of work. I had a really good agent after RADA in London.
In London? Yeah.
In London.
You got an agent there.
I got married. That's like what happens.
What happened?
Well, if you're lucky, not everyone gets one, but that's what happened. I had an excellent agent. I got a lot of work on BBC, ITV, HBO.
Tell me about that BBC, ITV action.
They were like telefilms.
Mm-hmm.
One of them actually won a BAFTA. It was called Dirty War.
Mm-hmm.
So really, it's actually one of the films that is aged really well. If you
And
get a
so
chance to
agents
watch it.
told you to go to audition. You went to audition. You got this.
So agents send you for auditions, right? It's very there. It's so well set up, right? That coming here was harder. In fact, it's so well set up. I used to go for like auditioning is your job, literally, right? That's what you did. So I went for hundreds and hundreds of
did?
auditions, right, all the time. And what I had, which was amazing, God bless his soul. I mean, he's passed away, Jeremy Conwell, who was my agent at the time. It was not a time of diversity and, oh, let's cast people of color and all those kind of things. But what he would do, that unless it specifically said it was for a white girl, he would send me for the audition. So I have played, for instance, in something called the Vice QC called Margaret Dawes. Just because it didn't say Margaret Dawes was white, I've played her.
Wow.
And so similarly for other parts. So he was really like ahead of his time.
He was ahead of his time because it was not specified. So he said go.
He pushed it, right?
Pushed it.
I never even thought of it as that way, but it was now in retrospect, I think of it like, wow, he was really ahead of his time. And so I auditioned a lot before I got my first break, and that was a theatre play in Leicester for Othello.
What?
And I was playing Desdemona, and Desdemona is obviously, by the way that it's written, white and Othello black, right? But what this play was, that all of Desdemona's family was South Asian, and Othello was black, and still the racism and the tension and whatever for that, right? It was written like that.
That's amazing.
I mean, it was conceptualized like that. And it was that was my first job. And it was such an amazing first job to have.
So you rehearsed at the actual theatre?
At the actual theatre? No, we rehearsed in rehearsal rooms.
Rehearsal rooms in Leicester?
In Leicester, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It's also called the Leicester Haymarket, but it's not the Haymarket Theatre in Leicester.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but it's called the Leicester Haymarket, which is very respectable theatre. And you do a 4-week run.
4 weeks?
Yeah, 4 weeks run.
That's good. Yeah. It's a good run.
It was magical. Like, it was just like I felt, this is what I mean. I felt like glory was meant for me.
So rehearsal 2 months?
Rehearsal 10 weeks, yeah.
10 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And then 4 weeks. And so you moved to Bombay. I mean,
I had 1 foot in Bombay and 1 foot in London. Those were the glory days of my life.
And the 3 notable films, White Noise, Road to Ladakh, and Rock On.
Yeah.
Were you going to auditions for those in Bombay?
Yes, I had to audition for all of them. In fact, all the ones you've mentioned.
Yeah.
The only film I didn't audition for was Everybody Says I'm Fine, because that part was written with me in mind. What do you call, Road to Ladakh was the toughest audition process, in fact, because Ashwin Kumar, is that his name?
Yes.
Ashwin Kumar. Ashwin Kumar, he came and watched something in RADA, then he auditioned me, then he watched something more, and he kept me waiting for a very, very long time. I did many rounds with him, met him many times, then auditioned with Irfan and whatever have you. Irfan Khan. At that point, Irfan was not Irfan Khan. He was a TV actor, and he had done Salam Bombay, but his role had been cut and whatever and things. And so that's why he was doing this short film or whatever, which was bizarre, because 90 minutes, is it short? I don't know.
Yeah, 90 minutes is...
Yeah. No, it's 60 minutes. Sorry.
60 minutes.
It's 60 minutes.
Just
I don't know what it is, but it was called a short film.
For festivals.
Yeah. And so that was the most grueling audition process. But as I say, when you graduate from drama school, that's your job.
Was it a particularly difficult environment to navigate, to nurture your talent? I mean, which you have an abundance of. Were we permitted for your talent to shine, or was it curbed slightly to...
What do you mean, like your acting?
Yeah, your acting,
the thing is that with actors, we're so uniquely poised. Like, if you're a painter, you can just practice your craft whenever you want. If you're a singer, you get up in the morning, you do your riyaz. If you're a dancer, ditto, blah, blah, blah. As actors, you're not going to just get up and start doing monologues, right? Like, you can, and therefore you must constantly do workshops and whatever. So when you're working, your craft just becomes better and better and better and better, because you're working with all these different kinds of people. You're learning from people who've been in the industry much longer than you, and all those kind of things. But a big part of a jobbing actor is the space in between where you're not working.
So what do you do to fill those space, to keep
You go
your craft
crazy.
going? For those who are good actors, who are not getting the work, what do they do to
I
keep?
don't know. I really don't know. So what I did was, because I too much energy, especially back then, I did a lot of other things, and one of the other things became, unfortunately or fortunately, my mainstay, which was On the Couch with Koel.
We're getting to
That
yes.
was meant to be let's fill the gaps between when I get the next role, when I get the next role. It was not meant to be my mainstay, but it became that because it was popular or whatever. But yeah, you do. I would say if you're a young actor today and you're not, you've got breaks in it,
Yes.
say yes to anything.
Yeah.
Say yes to anything just for the riyaz. I don't even know if there is a word, because practice is not riyaz. Rehearsal is not riyaz.
No.
Riyaz is very specific,
Yeah.
right? So it's like routine, come practice, come rehearsal.
Yeah.
Come respect or whatever for your, I don't know, so
Difficult to keep that.
Yeah, riyaz is very difficult to translate.
Difficult to also fill that void.
Difficult. So you can, create your own theater shows, do it now you can do it on social media platforms, but you must constantly say yes to workshops, say yes to doing whatever little ad, this, that, something, because otherwise you get rusty.
Yes.
And then you lose confidence. And then
Big
when
time.
you suddenly get a really good audition or something, you're not good. And you can feel it, like you don't have the muscle. You feel, okay, I should be doing this, but it's not coming. And especially now because you're not in the room. So there's not anyone who's bringing
Correct.
it out. You're doing it just solo, maybe with an actor, maybe with the husband who can't speak the language.
Correct.
So,
Yes. But Headline Today happened with your own talk show, On the Couch with Koel,
Yeah.
the late 2000s, I think.
Yes.
And the notable guest stars were like Amitabh Bachchan, James Cameron, Salman Rushdie, among many, many, many others, right? Could you talk me through the concept, how it materialized?
So me and my friend Moses, we were, he was struggling to be a director. I was struggling to be an actor, to find our own space. And we're like, let's do something. And it was the time of non-fiction television interview shows and stuff, a few, like very few. But
Very few. You were the first.
There was Coffee with Karan was out.
Already?
Yeah.
Okay.
It had just come out, and there was before that, there was that Rajni and whatever, blah, blah, blah. There were a few. But all they were either sycophantic or stuff that we already knew, or just really aggressive, like if you had Veer Sanghvi's show, which was like, go in there, or Prabhu Chawla show, which was like very attack-based and stuff. And I was like, you know what?
Oh, yes.
I really want to know the person behind the persona. I want to get into that, which is why we came up with the couch. And actually, I wanted to do it on a bed back then. I wanted to have a traveling bed that would be behind a truck or set up here or whatever. And you get into bed with someone and you just literally talk. But I was like, I don't want to just have bed has a connotation of sex and so I didn't want to get into your personal life in that sense. But I wanted to get into the mind behind what it takes. And because being an actor myself and being part of the industry, that was the idea, that I want to strip away this idea of who you are and get into what makes you tick. And that did become the USP to a large extent, which is why it worked.
You got very notable guest stars on. Did you reach out?
So it took a long time for that to happen. We shot many, many episodes till we went on air with just friends, whoever said yes. So like Gulpanag, Ranveer Shori, people we knew, right? People who I'd acted with, who were my friends, Zoya, this one, that one. But I was like, we're not going on air till we have a big name. So we just kept banking. And then Salman Khan said yes, because he was promoting his film Veer. He said yes. And the day he said yes, of course, I was on holiday with my now husband, but at that point, boyfriend for the first time in Goa, and had to literally go. He said yes, got on the next flight and came back to Bombay, and we shot. And we had it on air the next day.
The first
episode.
Your questions you came up with yourself, of course?
So yes, always with Moses,
With Moses.
And my team. But also the thing was that each guest, even if it was a friend, even if it's someone I knew, I studied them like an exam. So my research team and the research I put in myself and the way that I knew everything about them. So when I interviewed, for instance, General Musharraf, a question I asked him,
Incredible.
when I said, "Do you have a Glock in your in your pocket?" And he was taken aback, and it's like, because I had read his entire biography, his autobiography, I forget what it was, and when he made a reference to something, I was able to ask a follow-up question because I knew what he was talking
Yes.
about. And this is so for me, that was important.
How was he? Security. He came.
Not more than any of the Bollywood stars.
Not any.
No entourage at the
Incredible.
time. Extremely. But I find this with most vicious people and most superstars and most politicians. You can't resist them. Like, their personal aura and charm disarms you.
Any notable politicians?
Any what?
Any notable politicians on your show?
Yes, quite a few. Brain fog, Kamal Nath, Shashi Tharoor.
Aura, you're talking about. Yeah, also. They had aura.
They had aura, the politicians. Yeah, Sarah Palin. Do you remember her?
Of course I remember her.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, a few others. They all have aura. So General Musharraf was because he comes, especially for us Indians, he came, at least on my show, he came like with this, I was scared of him, like, oh, is the villain coming or whatever, right? And, but he was so charming and giggly and disarming and whatever, that it was like, it was quite I dropped my entire cup of tea on him, by the way.
You did?
Yeah, before the show even started. Or was it at the end? Yeah, it was in the end.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah, it
So
was
it's
in the
fine.
end. Yeah.
On purpose.
Oh no, nerves.
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 At the end.
Yeah, throughout.
Throughout, I'm sure.
Throughout.
Incredible. How do you cope with nerves? I mean, how many of them were you doing a week? It was once.
It depended. Sometimes if I wanted to go on, it was a great time, because sometimes when I wanted to go on holiday, I would do like 6 a week, and then I'm free for a bit.
You're fine.
Yeah, like, and also it depended on people's schedules.
Of course.
I did it for 8 years, right? So it changed a lot. In the beginning, I would get the stars for the amount of time I wanted, whenever I wanted, and then it became when they're part of their promotional circle.
I watched it,
Yeah.
I used to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. As social media platforms, become primary sources of news.
Yeah.
For many, many people.
Yeah, including me, unfortunately.
Yeah, but do you think this affects the standard of journalism? Unbiased reporting?
See, it's a double-edged sword, because you cannot just say anything you feel like, and at the same time you can say anything you feel like, because you will be caught out if it's a lie. But at the same time, if you're in an echo chamber of your own making, of, I want to believe right-wing side of everything, then that's the chamber you will be in. So it's a double-edged sword for me. I think there is still space. We see it all the time, more in the West than here. There is still space for investigative journalism and space for understanding the deeper truth. But yes, the way our minds function, the way the world is, we don't have the capacity to retain it. We don't have the capacity to engage with material that is more than just giving us the gist of something.
Yes.
We just want the gist. Tell it to us quickly, tell it to us in an engaging manner, and let's move on, So yes, it has affected the quality of journalism, but it's affected the quality of life, for good and bad, in everything that we do.
Okay. And what's next, apart from that second book you're writing?
That second book
Which is enough, I think.
No, there's lots of... the way that since I left India, which is now coming to 10 years, or more than 10 years, is I threw up a lot, or maybe I've done it my whole life. I throw up a lot of balls in the air, right? Of things that could happen, whatever. Like on the couch with Koel was one of the balls that landed, right? And so I throw up a lot of balls, and at the moment also I have many balls in the air. Let's see what lands.
Well,
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Koel, for
Thank
this.
you, Samar.
We've come to the end.
Yeah,
Finally, finally.
of chatting. Sorry if I'm so verbose.
No, it's great. Loved it. Thank you very much.